And today we're going to be doing a project on time series. But first of all, let us revise of what we have learned in the course. We learned about time series. We learned about the components of time series. We did data types, then we learned about the white noise, the stationary, the removal of non-stationary, and the autoregressive time series model. We also learned about moving average. We learned about ARMA versus ARIMA. The main what we say difference is the I in ARIMA, which stands for integrated. So you can say it's autoregressive moving average versus autoregressive integrated moving average. And last but not least was introduction to S ARIMA, which is seasonal ARIMA. So here is about the project. So now we know that we use time series analysis to predict the weather, the share markets, and the economic conditions in the future. So similarly, in this project, we are going to use time series to predict the sales forecast in the future. And we're going to use autoregressive model as it predicts future values based on past values. Now, in this data set, I can conclude that it includes 100 rows, estimated, and 20 columns to work with. So now there are some steps that we need to follow for the model. First of all is to load and inspect the data set, to visualize it, to pre-process. Then we're going to check for stationary. We're going to plot the ACF and the PACF. We're going to prepare the model and in the end forecast the sales. So let's go for the coding part. And as I told you, the first step was to load and inspect the dataset, and that is exactly what we're going to do now. So we're going to import some necessary libraries, which is going to be pandas as PD, numpy as NP, matplotlib, then we have Seaborn, and we're also going to import statsmodel.api. We're going to use add fuller and seasonal decompose to check whether the data is stationary or not, and we're also going to plot the ACF and the PACF. Now the thing is that we're going to need to read our data set means to store it into the computer. So we're going to do data is equal to pd.read underscore csv and put our link inside that bracket. So now the thing is we're going to print our first 5 rows. We're going to print the number of rows and the number of columns, and we're going to print the information about our data set. And as you can see, this is all about it. We have order, already ordered, then the ship day and ship mode, customer ID, then we have country, city, then the postal code, region, product ID, and so many things. And the last one is going to be the discount and the profit. So as you can see, this is the shape and this is the shape. This is what we printed, and this is the information about the columns. Let's move on to the next part, which is to visualize the data. Now, before visualizing, we're going to actually convert few things so we can work with it. Because we know Python can't understand human language and it can't understand the alphabet either. But it can understand binary numbers and numbers, common numbers like 1, 2, 3. So here we're going to convert our order date to date time. And now our order date, which was not understandable by Titan, is now going to be understandable because we've converted it to date time, which means the normal date. For example, this 2016 8/11 means the order person gave was on 11th of what's the 8th month of the year? 11th of September in 2016. Now we're going to do some more information. For example, order date, we're going to apply the lambda and x the year. So this is how we're going to convert it. Then we have the order date month. We're going to do it on order date year and month with the lambda, and then we have also strip time, in which we're going to put percentage y percentage m. This is our method. We have order date and order date day, and this is our order date of the week and the order date of the week name. So you can say all of this is just to make sure Python understands the data we've just imported. And now in the last of this step, we're going to print data.head, which means the first 5 rows. As you can see, we have order ID, and this is the order date, the ship date, the ship mode, and this is the country, the quantity, this is the order date, year, month, this is the order date. So all of these rows, as you can see, were of the other rows. For example, order date, year, month, and the day, week of name. That's it. Now we're going to plot our first graph. So here we're going to plot several graphs. For example, number of orders placed in different states. This is our first graph that we're going to work with. Second graph which we're going to work with is number of orders placed each year, which means each month of the year. And next graph which we're going to plot, which is going to be monthly orders placed in a superstore. Like you're arranging for a big party and you have to go to some store and order it all because they might not have that necessary quantity. So we're going to print the top 10 city sales, which means the top cities with the highest sales. Now we're printing the information over here, so it won't plot a graph. And this is the top 10 rows of sales data set, and we're going to print the top 10 rows. Now let's see our output. As you can see, let's go all the way up. Our number one graph is orders placed in different states. As you can see, these are all of the different states that we've gotten the order from, and the biggest one is California, the largest one actually, which is over 2,000. The next graph is orders placed each month of the year. As you can see, this is 2016, and then we have graphs that 2016-08, which means that September of 2016. And just like that, we have more numbers over here, and the graph continues to increase according to the values. And these are the monthly order placed in a superstore. So as you can see, this is 1, 2, 3. These are the months of the year, and so there are 12 months. So obviously there will be 12 graphs bar. And this is the number of orders, and the biggest sale was in the 11th month, which is November, which is about 1,200 number of orders. So let's check our information. These are the top 10 cities with the highest sale. And our first one is New York City. And soon as we go down, we have Springfield, and this is the top 10 rows of the sales data. This is the order date, this is the category. Now we have three categories to work with: furniture, office supplies, and technology. And then we have the sales according to them. For example, let's check the technology over here. It is 907 point, the numbers at the end, like 0.151520. Yeah. So now let's move on to the next part, in which we are working with office supplies. And we're soon going to work with the furniture and technology as well. But first, let's focus on this. So we're going to print the oldest order date and the newest order date. We're going to print the office supplies and the top 5 rows of the supply sales. And here we're going to sort the value by the order date. So whenever it was delivered first, we're going to sort it by that. For example, we have 5th of 5th of April, let's say, and we have another order coming after it, which is 20th of April. So first of all, 5th of April will come, then the next date. Let's go for the next part, which is the daily sales. We're going to check how many of them. As you can see, some. And here we're going to have the monthly office sales, and then we have the resample, and then we're going to print top 5 rows of monthly office data frame. And here we are also going to plot a graph in the end, which is of all the values we collected into one graph, and the title is going to be monthly office supply sales. So now, as you can see, these number first was the oldest order date, and this is the newest order date, and this is the top 5 rows of the office supply sales. Then we have more information in which we printed, and this is the top 5 rows of monthly office data frame, order date, and these are the sales. And let's check our graph, which is like this. So as you can see, we have January and July, then January to July, then January to July. It's basically like the first month to the 6th month, then to the first month to the 6th month again. So as you can see, as I am looking at the graph, I think these office supplies eventually took a hit in July 2017, and then it returned back to normal. So as you can see, the sales, the average sales were the most in July 2017. Let's move on to the next part, which is of furniture. Now we're going to do the detail of it, the detail of the previous code. So as you can see, we're going to copy every single thing except just changing the furniture. And furniture, we're going to print the information like the top 5 rows of furniture data frame. Then we have the monthly furniture data frame, and now we're going to plot our graph. So our title is going to be monthly furniture sales. So let's take a look. After checking our information, as you can see, this is the furniture data frame. This is the order date, and this are the sales. And here is our graph. So now, as I'm viewing the graph, I think that in January 2015, it took a hit, but then it went down and went on its average. So you can say that in January 2015, the average sales were 800, which was the highest, you can say. Now let's move on to the next part, which is about the technology. Like I said, we're going to do the absolute same thing, just change the titles and change the category. So we have top 5 rows of tech supplies, then monthly technology data frame, and now we're going to plot a graph with monthly technology sales. So as you can see, these are all our information: the order date, the sales, the customer name, the segment, country, city, like from where people ordered it. For example, let's take this lady, Liz Thompson. She's a consumer and she ordered it when? She ordered it on first okay 6th of January 2014. And from where was she from? She was a consumer. This was her segment, and she was from the United States. Here we also have the city mentioned, which is a Little Rock. So now let's check out our graph, which is over here. These are the monthly technology sales. We have January to July again as usual. And in the month of 2016, as you can see, technology sales hit 200 average sales, as you can see. So which is great, but then it went back down. So like yeah. And now let's move on to the next part, which is plotting all of them together in one graph. So here, instead of like going January to July, we're going to print each year. For example, 2014, then 2015, 2016, and then 2017, and so on. No, it's not a so on because we only have values till 2017, but let's go on. So as you can see, we have furniture, we have the furniture category, and then we have office supplies and the technology category. And here we have the furniture sales, and then we're going to so you can say the exact same thing of the three above codes we have discussed, but all compiled in one. So as you can see, this is the information, and we're going to start plotting our graph, which is going to be order date. Then we have furniture sales and furniture, and here we have X label, which is going to be date, and the Y label, which is going to be sales, and our title, which is going to be monthly sales. It's going to be furniture versus office supplies versus technology. And as you can see, this is our output. Now the blue represents furniture, the red represents office supplies, and the green represents technology supplies. Now as you can see in 2016, you know, I can say that technology supplies is more above the water, while furniture and office supplies are going a little under. And because in 2016 in January we can see that technology supplies literally took a hit. It was never bound to happen again, maybe because it was like party or giving away season. But let's move on to the next part, in which we are going to plot our first model. But before that, we're going to prepare it. So we're going to do the test results, add fuller, we're going to do this technology still, the ADF statistics and the p-value, the critical values. We're going to do all of them. Then we have, the critical value, the seasonal differencing technology, then the seasonal first differencing technology, and as you can see, we have the technology sales, and we're going to work with additive and multiplicative methodology. We're going to, plot our subplots. Here we have our graphs, and let's check our output. As you can see, this is our seasonal first differencing, the technology sales. Now let's do the additive. So first of all, this was our graph. We took the trend out of it. We removed the seasonality as well, and all of the residual will come in the final category. So in autocorrelation, as you can check, this is ACF autocorrelation, and the partial autocorrelation. You can't see much difference, but there is difference. So let's move on to printing the next you know model. So we're going to do the test result, the ADF statistics, the p-value, critical value. We're going to do the office sales. We're going to again do the additive. So here we're just what we did for technology sales, we're also going to do it for office sales and furniture. So let's move on. And like I said, it's the exams exact same copy. So we're going to do the office sales, and as you can see, let's move up. This is our graph. This is our trend removed. This is our seasonality, and this is the residual. Here we have our ACF and the PACF, the plots. And as you can see, the next part is to prepare for the model. So here we're going to log the data with office supplies. We're going to do order date and the series, and here we're going to do daily office sales, order date, and the sales. We're going to sum it up, which means check how many sales there are, and we are going to use SciMax. S-Array Max. Yeah, so it means seasonal, autoregressive, integrated moving average with exogenous variables. So as you can see, we're going to do the preparation for the model. We're going to do the sales model. And here we're going to plot it with the fixed size and the legend. And the title is going to be Time Series Sales Forecasting. This is of model number 1. And in the end, we're going to print the accuracy of the model. So let's check out our graph. As you can see, this is our graph. This is the time series sales forecast. The blue represents the sales and the orange represents the predicted mean, which means that how successful this business is going to be in the future. And the accuracy of this model is 51.70%. Now let's see whether we can expect more from the next model or not. We're going to do the same thing with furniture, the statistics, the result, the GCF, the sales, and as you can see, we're going to do the additive technology. So this is our sales. This is the main graph. This is our trend removed from the sales. This is our seasonality extracted, and all of the extra things which is residual will fall into the last compartment. Now we have autocorrelation and the partial autocorrelation. You can see the graph beside. There is not much difference except for more data points in the ACF and less in the PACF. But now let's go ahead and plot it for our second model here. So we're going to do the furniture, we're going to do category, and here as you can see, this is the SciMax model. We're going to do the SciMax feature, and here as you can see, we have the sales model summary. We have the forecast over here, and we're going to print the monthly furniture, and the sales model predict, and in the end we're going to print the accuracy of the model. So let's check our output. As you can see, this is the time series sales forecast. This is going up, and the blue line represents sales and the orange one represents the predicted mean. And as you can see our graph, it's very much different for the first one because the accuracy of the model is 73.84%. So after doing all of that long lines of code, in the end we've come to a conclusion that model 2 is better than model 1. And here we now know that what will be the economic condition, or how much will it prosper this business in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in my next video.